What's up everyone, welcome back to another video on TPL Locs. Today I want to review someone who has been requested by you in the comments below. I want to review rapper JID or JID. Let's review JID. Destined Choice Route, also known as JID or JID, is an American rapper, singer, and songwriter. He's part of the musical collective Spillage Village, and he's also signed to J. Cole's Dreamville Records and Interscope Records. He adopted the name JID from his grandmother's nickname for him based on his jittery behavior. JID grew up listening to Sly and the Family Stone, Earth, Wind & Fire before shifting to 1990s New York hip-hop with rappers such as Jay-Z, Nas, and Mobb Deep. Let's review his locks. So I'd like to start with the youngest picture that I was able to find of JID. This is the picture that I found and chose to start with. This is him as a kid, and I always look for these pictures to kind of figure out what his hair type was like before he got locks. It's not really easy to see that from this picture because he's got super short hair, so just want to go to the next picture that I could find of him with the shortest locks possible. So this is a picture from 2017, and as you can see, he has quite short locks. Just looking at it like this makes me think that he started his lock journey with semi-freeforming. So he could have started with a sponge rubbing his hair until they form locks. He could have just done nothing and start with freeform method until they start growing into locks and then pulling them apart, making them semi-freeform, which I think he did. Or he could have started out with retwisting. So in the beginning, there are many different ways to start locks, but what you do after a while, month after month, is going to dictate what your locks are going to look like eventually. So here we can see his locks are, well, I always want to say it in inches, but I don't know how much an inch is. I only know centimeters. So his locks look like 20 centimeters to me, the longest ones right here. And these look very neat and manicured, but then if we look at the locks here in the front, they almost look like Congos or some other freeform type lock. He's wearing a bandana, and I believe he has shaven off the first row of his hair, if I am not mistaken. So here we go to the next picture, and this is what I was just talking about. His head seems kind of bald here to me, so I think he did shave either the first few locks on the side or just the first row. Let's see if we can figure that out in the next pictures. He also has many tattoos, as we can see. Tattoos in his neck, tattoos on his hands, and yeah, he's looking cool. This is a picture from an interview that he did in which he explains lyrics to one of his songs. And here we can see the color difference in his locks. So if you go towards the tips, you can see that his locks are a bit lighter. And if you go back towards the scalp, you can see that it's a bit darker. And that's because the sun will just bleach your hair naturally over time. He's again wearing the bandana, and he gained a lot of length from the previous picture. So I think this is about a year later or a bit less than that. And we can't see his parts, so I don't think he retwists his hair really, but he obviously pulls them apart because I don't really see very big Congos or other hints that he is freeforming. Now this picture, I think this is from the same year. This may even be before this picture, if I'm honest. I'm not really sure, but his locks look very neat here to me. So either his hair just does that by itself because it's really coarse and it really sticks together very well. There's no frizzy hair, or he palms rolls them, uses a crochet hook, or gets his locks kind of taken care of before he goes on stage. That's what a lot of rappers with locks do. When they're not on stage, they tend to semi-freeform, just pull their hair apart and not really care as much about it. But when they do a photo shoot or they go on stage, sometimes they get their hair retwisted. So then you get like a mix of certain methods. So someone could be semi-freeforming, but then having their hair retwisted for photo shoots, which will start making their hair look way more manicured and no longer semi-freeform. But he's still wearing the bandana, so I think that is a recurring theme. Now this was for a photo shoot. I think this was for, is this Reebok? Is he wearing Reebok shoes or Puma? Something like that. Here we can see a view from the top. So this is clear that we don't see his parts, so he doesn't retwist his hair, at least not for this photo shoot, but he does pull them apart, because if he didn't, we would start to see bigger congos and bigger clumps of locks growing together. That is not the case with him. Yeah, and his hair is just growing and growing. Then we come to 2019, where we can still see his hair growing, and his tips are blunted. He's still wearing the same bandana. There's not much that he does with his hair, so we don't really see him doing many different types of lock styles, which we see with rappers such as Future, XXXTentacion, Wiz Khalifa sometimes. He doesn't really do very many different things to his locks. He just wears the same bandana, has his hair loose, and yeah, he just lets it do what it does and then pull it apart whenever it starts to grow together too much. So that takes us to this last picture, where we can see him in I think this is a video shoot or a photo shoot, and his hair again is it just continues to grow. It looks fairly lighter here, so I think his hair is changing because of the sun that bleaches his hair time after time. And maybe, do we see a rubber band here? So maybe he is starting to do the Jaden Smith style with putting a rubber band on some of your locks to make them combine, or it's just a look for this photo shoot. I'm not really sure. But yeah, his locks are cool, although I do find it a pity that I can't always find a huge collection of pictures before they get locks. So many rappers, they come up within 2 or 3 years and they get locks within that period, but it's not always easy to find what they look like before. So I still want to take a look at his Instagram, because maybe here we can get some little hints to what his hair was like before he got locks. Here he's got really short hair, and this was in 2016. Let me see a picture where we can see his hair a bit more clearly. Yeah, there's not much to find on his hair before he got locks. So all of these pictures is after he got locks, and yeah, he just continues to do the same thing. And this is really healthy for locks, doing a lot of doing very different things to your locks can sometimes be very damaging. If you pull it tight or put it up in a bun all the time and then have it braided and then retwist, it can be very damaging to the hair. So I think it is very healthy that he doesn't do very many different things. Here we can see he has a ponytail, so he does use the pineapple. He does use a pineapple to kind of keep his locks out of his face. Let's see what his locks look like nowadays. Oh, he has a hair shake. Oh, he does use a rubber band on part of his locks always. So I believe Jaden Smith or maybe Basquiat is actually the first who did it. But I think that's cool. I'm wondering if he will keep doing that so they start growing together and then transition into freeform locks. That would be cool. Let's see what it looks like now. Can we see an up-close picture of his locks? Not really. Here we go. Picture of him touring. No, he's just letting his hair grow. And he does use the sideways ponytail to keep it out of his face. So, yeah, semi-freeform locks. They're pretty awesome. Thank you for recommending him to me. I'm also doing Playboy Cardi this week or maybe next week, so look out for that. For now, thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Time